Welcome to all of you, my friends, on the another sessions of the NCERT 7th Geography, the chapter 3rd, the Changing the Earth. The lithosphere is broken into a number of plates, known as the lithospheric plates. You will be surprised to know that these plates move around very slowly, just a few millimeters each year. This is because of the movement of the molten magma inside the earth, and the molten magma inside the earth move in a circular lithospheric plates. The earth's crust consists of several large and some small, rigid, irregular shaped plates or slabs, which carries continent and ocean floors. The movement of these plates causes the change on the surface of the earth. The earth movements are divided on the basis of the forces which cause them. First forces is now the endogenic force. The forces which act in the interior of the earth are called endogenic forces, and the endogenic forces sometimes produce the sudden movements and the other time produce slow movements. The geomorphic process, that is the earth movements, are two types. This are due to the endogenic forces and the exogenic forces. The endogenic forces is slow movements and the sudden movement that create the continent building and mount building. The mount may be the fold mountain and fault mountain. Exogenic forces due to the weathering, erosion and the depositions of the material. The another types of the forces that cause the earth movement, that is the exogenic forces. The forces that work on the surface of the earth are called exogenic forces. What is the volcano? A volcano is a vent, that means opening in the earth crust through which the molten material like molten magma, lava erupt suddenly. What is the earthquake? Earthquake is the within the lithospheric plates move, the surface of the earth vibrate, and the vibrations can travel all around the earth. These vibrations are called the earthquake. What is the focus and epicenter of the earthquake? The places in the crust where the movement starts is called the focus, and the epicenter is the place on the surface above the focus is called the epicenter. The vibration travels outwards from the epicenter as a wave. The greatest damage is usually closest to the epicenter, and the strength of the earthquake decreases away from the center. Types of the earthquake waves. There are the three types of the earthquake wave. First is the P waves, are also called longitudinal waves. Second one is the S waves, or transverse waves. Third one is the L wave, or the surface wave. Do now, although the earthquake cannot be predicted, but the impact can be certainly be minimized if we are prepared before the hand. There are some common earthquake prediction methods that are adopted locally by the people, including the studying the animal behavior, such as the fish in the ponds get agitated, snakes comes to the surface when the earthquake comes. The earthquake preparedness, that means where to take the shelter during an earthquake. There are such as a safe spot under a kitchen counter, a table or desk, against an inside corner or wall. Stay away from the fireplaces, area around the chimneys, windows that shatter, including the mirrors and picture frames. Be prepared and spread the awareness amongst your friends and family members, and face any disaster confidently. Major landforms. The landforms is being continuously worn away by the process, weathering and erosion. What is the weathering? Weathering, that means the waves and the breaking of the rocks on the earth's surface is called the weathering. Erosion is the wearing away of the landscape by the different agents like the water, wind and ice. The eroded material is carried away or transported by water, wind itself, and eventually deposited. This process of the erosion and deposition creates the different landforms on the surface of the earth. Work of the river. The running water in the river erodes the landscape when the running tumbles at a steep angle on over a very hard rock or down at a steep valley side. It forms a waterfall. There are the thousands of the small waterfalls in the world, but the highest waterfall, Angel Waterfall, in Venezuela, South America. The other falls are Niagara Falls, located on the border between the Canada and USA in North America, and the Victoria Falls on the border of the Zambia and the Zimbabwe in Africa. What is the meander? Meander is the as the river enters in the plain, it twists and turns, forming a large bend. Now this bend is known as the meander. Due to the continuous erosion and deposition along the sides of the meander, the ends of the meander loop comes closer and closer. What is the oxbow lake? Oxbow lake is in the due to the course of the time, the meander loop cut off from the river and form a cut-off lake is also called as the oxbow lake. At the times the river flow, its banks leads to the flooding of the neighboring areas. As it floods, it deposits the layers of the fine soil and the other materials called the sediments along its banks. This leads to the formation of a flat, fertile floodplain. The raised banks are called the levees, and as the river approaches the sea, the speed of the flowing water decreases and the rivers begins to break up into a number of streams called the distributaries. The rivers becomes so slow that it begins to deposit its load. Each distributaries form its own mouth. The collection of the sediments from all the mouths form a delta. The work of seawater. What is the sea caves? The erosion and deposition of the sea waves gives rise to coastal landforms. The sea waves continuously strike at the rocks. The cracks develop over the time. They become larger and wider. Thus, hollow-like caves are formed on the rock, and they are called the sea caves. What is the sea arches? As these cavities become bigger and bigger, only the roof of the caves remain, thus forming a sea arches. What is the stakes? Further erosion breaks the roof and the only wall are left. These walls-like features are called the stakes. What is the sea cliff? The steep rocky coast rising almost vertically above the sea water is called the sea cliff. And what is the beaches? The sea waves deposit the sediments along the shores, forming the beaches. The work of ice. What is the glacier? Glaciers are the rivers of the ice which to erode landscapes by the bulldozing the soil and stones to expose the solid rock below. The glaciers carve out deep hollow. There is the ice melt. They get filled with water and become the beautiful lakes in the mountain. The material carried by the glacier, such as the rocks, big and the small sand silt, gets deposited. These deposits form a glacier moraine. Work of wind. Mushroom rocks, an active agent of erosion and deposits in a desert in wind. In desert, you can see the rock in the shape of the mushroom, commonly called the mushroom rocks. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon to get all notifications.